The Butcher Boy seems to have so much action, and yet nothing really happens. This pup cartoon from Walter Lantz. It was released in 1932, directed by Walter Lantz, and written by Walter Lantz, Kline, and Manuel Moreno, and it stars the voice of Walter Lantz. And I've seen one or two Pooch the Pups before this one, and I quite like the character, and I have to say, even though this isn't a great cartoon, I do like the character in this. I like the way the character is animated. I just like the character in general. But the actual narrative, apart from a bit of dark humour that I hadn't expected and rather liked, I will discuss that with a spoiler warning in a moment, the actual narrative is just so all over the place. It's like they didn't really know what to do with this, so they just threw a whole bunch of stuff at it, and none of it really works. It starts off very strongly. Pooch's girlfriend, I believe it's his girlfriend, phones the butcher's where Pooch works and orders a chicken. And there's a delightful moment where a cat, the girlfriend's cat, blows a raspberry down the phone. It's a very strange start to the cartoon. And Pooch tries to get this chicken, but this chicken, which is live, doesn't want to, well, be caught and killed. So he manages to get this live chicken and takes it to her house, and then the chicken runs all over and he has to try and capture it, and it sounds like it could have worked well. It sounded like it could have been crazy fun with a lot of running around and nobody really knowing where they're going. And that is kind of what happens, but not in a way that's delightful. There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of mess. There are a lot of random things in this that just don't feel like they belong. And as I said, it's kind of like they didn't know what they wanted to do with the narrative once they got to the point of delivering the chicken. So they just threw a whole bunch of stuff at it and none of it works, apart from the last couple of seconds. Well, I don't know if I love the last couple of seconds, but it certainly caught my attention a lot. So it's not a great cartoon. The animation is okay, but it is very chaotic, but not in a way that's fun. Some cartoons can be chaotic and entertaining. This one's not. It just seems unstructured, like there was no real thought process behind it. Strong start. Really weak 2/3, interesting couple of seconds. I'll talk about that in a moment. Would I recommend it? Not so much. If you're a fan of Pooch the Pup in general or Walter Lantz, sure, give it a go. It is watchable. It's not insufferable or anything. But at the same time, apart from the first minute, maybe 2 minutes, I felt like it was a bit of a letdown. So with a spoiler warning, I'll now discuss what happens at the very, very end. At the very end, the chicken is plucked. The animation is pretty effective. And for a brief second, Pooch holds up the chicken, then kind of drops it on the floor. And obviously, because the chicken's clearly dead, it just kind of lies there, not doing anything. And that's actually really unusual. There are plenty of cartoons about farmers, gardeners, people working outside, trying to capture an animal either because they want to kill it and eat it or because it's pestering them, getting in the way of their garden, things like that. But I can't think of a single one where we've actually seen the animal kind of die like that. There probably will be, I'm sure there will be, but it's certainly very unusual, and I just hadn't expected it to be quite so dark in those last few seconds. It's definitely not the way I expected it to go, put it that way. So it's memorable when I wasn't expecting it to be. Does that make it a good cartoon? Not necessarily, but if that ending does intrigue you, then by all means check it out. But other than that, I'd say The Butcher Boy is not worth watching.